Car Wizard.
Oh goodness, scared me. Welcome back to the Wizard Shop. We've been spending some time today on Hoovie's roll. Some of you have seen it in the shop in the background and you might be wondering why has it been sitting there? And a lot of it is the waiting on parts, just like you do on these things. But just give you a quick little rundown. It is a Rolls Royce, but it also is a BMW N73 V12 engine. And guess what BMWs always have trouble with is a coolant pipe. I've got this one cut out, and the seal that's here was gone bad, and it was leaking pretty bad out of the weep hole. We were actually at a Cars and Coffee, and it was just dribbling all over the place. It looked kind of bad, so we thought we probably better fix it. This is the fix. A lot of BMW fans will be familiar with this. This is the expandable coolant pipe that goes in here. It takes care of this problem without having to pull the motor. Contrary to popular belief, Hoovie is not stupid with his money. He's actually very wise and smart with it. This is one of the instances here. That's one of the reliability issues with the BMW engines, the V8 and the V12s, is these crazy coolant pipes. This is like the third or fourth one that I've done. And speaking of reliability, a lot of you have had a lot of questions. I've even called the shop about what kind of car should I buy? What about this car? What about that car? So I think today what I'll do is just have a seat and we'll go over what's a good car and what's not in the Asian market. If some of you just seen Hoovie's recent videos on his Hummer H2, the last video he removed this seat out of it and he was going to trash it. I think I'll just make it a shop seat. In fact, I'll just have a seat on an H2 seat. Well, it's been pretty busy in the shop here this week. We've had quite a lot of cars coming and going, and I've worked late and actually been working weekends. It's been getting pretty busy. You've seen in the last video a lot of supercars in here, and we just finished up the Ferrari and it's gone, it's done. Happy customer. On the topic of reliability, I've had multiple people come into the shop and they're in the market for a car and they say, what should I buy? And I always say, whether it's an SUV or a car, I always say Toyota. Toyota Highlander or Toyota Camry. They never listen. No one has ever taken that advice. It's always 3 or 4 weeks later, I get a phone call. Say, hey, yeah, we finally did get a new car. We got a GMC Terrain and the transmission spilled its guts out on our driveway this morning. What do I do? And it's just like, I told you not to get a car like that. I told you to get a Toyota. No one ever listens, ever. It's cost. But after you buy the cheap car and you've fixed it, now you're at the cost of a Toyota. I don't get it. I don't get it. But you guys are smarter than that, and that's why you're watching these episodes I make, is you're wanting that information, and I'm happy to give it to you. So I'm going to do a buy this, not that analogy with the Asian market cars, not SUVs or trucks. We're specifically going to do cars. And some of these that I list are based on just what I've seen come in the shop and the same repetitive issues over and over and over and over. So the first buy would be a Toyota Corolla. If you're looking for a small car that gets good gas mileage, you can drive it and you don't have to work. You do have to do oil changes and things like that, but maintenance. But as far as things breaking down on you, it's very unlikely on one of those. The one not to buy, a Nissan Altima. It seems like the Altimas, especially when they get over 100,000 miles, the interior just deteriorates in them. There's leaks galore, there's CVT transmission failures, there's all kinds of issues with them that I don't see with Corollas. So, moving on down the list, a Toyota Camry. If you're looking in the market for a mid-size car, maybe with a V6, a little bit more power, a little bit more room, a Camry's going to have that same reliability, but in a larger size, and it still gets pretty decent gas mileage with the V6 as well. And again, you're going to have that drive it without a whole bunch of issues. I've seen some Toyotas come in the shop with 200,000 miles, and I put them on the lift, and the bolts still have the cat plating on them, and they're shiny like brand new. There's not a drip to be found anywhere of oil. I can't say that for Nissans. The not on that in that category would be a Nissan Maxima. The same 3.5 V6 in the Nissans, They always have power steering leaks. They always have oil filter adapter leaks. It's the interior deteriorates after 100,000 miles, so that's a not in that category. In the small car category for another brand other than Toyota that would be reliable would be a Honda Civic. Those, I would say, they're probably 80 to 90% as reliable as a Toyota. They're still going to have, every car is going to have some issues, and even the bad ones. There's a few good ones in the bad categories, but the Civic is going to be a good car that's reliable, good gas mileage, maybe a few little issues here and there, but it's not going to be anything near some of the other ones I'm going to list. Okay, and then on one in that category, it's kind of a sporty car. It's not really a sports car. It would be something you don't want to buy, would be a Mazda RX-8. Those are a maintenance nightmare. I've gotten phone calls on those cars where I say, do you work on rotary engines? And I'm like, no, I don't. And they say, I've called 12 different shops and they all decline to repair or work on my rotary engine. There's people out there that specialize in those that know those. I'm not one of them, and it's very hard to find one of them. So is that going to be a reliable family car, a reliable transportation for your family? No. No one's going to work on it. So that would be one in that category you don't want to buy. And if you're looking for something a little bit more utilitarian that's got all-wheel drive and maybe has a hatchback, a Subaru Outback is really good. Back in the days, in the early years, they did have head gasket problems, but the newer ones, 2012, 13, 14, they really don't have that trouble, and they're really very reliable. Subarus are pretty reliable cars. They get decent gas mileage. You're not going to get a gas mileage of a Corolla or a Camry, but they're going to get pretty good gas mileage, and they're reliable. And it's going to have all-wheel drive. It's got an elevated ground clearance and be a nice car. And in that category, something that you don't want to buy, a Daewoo Leganza. Really, you don't want to buy a car from any manufacturer that's not in business anymore. I've seen some of these cars going around and I have never seen one in good condition. They're always completely ragged out and destroyed. If you're looking at one of these, it maybe is somewhat in good condition, just walk away. So in the Asian small to medium car category, those are some of cars that you should buy and some that you should not buy. Ones that you should look into buying, ones that you should walk away from. I think that kind of settles that. We're going to do more videos of these trucks, and then we're going to do vans and things of that nature, American cars, European cars. So again, if there's any tools or anything you see me using, check them out on my Amazon affiliates. I've got them for sale. We've also got hoodies. We've got coffee mugs, decal stickers. Check those out and purchase those. And again, thanks for watching The Wizard Shop.